Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a great day, whatever day this happens to be for you. Whenever this particular video gets to you, have a day. Have a great day. All right, here we are on Parisdorf. Himmel's Parisdorf. We have spawned over into the east side. We have a standard battle. And we're going to talk Rompelstomps, but we're going to break them down just a little bit right here. You've all seen them. You've been on both ends of them. These are the games, the turbo games, Blitzkrieg, even if you want to call it that. Kind of, harken back to that World War II. The German idea of lightning warfare, which is to gain the initiative and keep pressing and keep the enemy on their back heel so that they cannot react. And we get that in this game in the form of Rompelstomps, we call them, or turbo battles. You get into a situation where enough of the enemy tanks have been killed. Oh my gosh, what have I just done here? How did we go so slow? Wow. Where enough of the enemy tanks have been killed that it's virtually impossible for them to come back, and it just starts to snowball. So you don't see that a whole bunch on Paris, because Paris tends to be a very static fight. You got the few guys hanging out in the north, out in the field, kind of doing a little vision game, maybe trying to take a peek and a poke at people. They'd love to flank if they can, but generally it's kind of locked down, at least for a while. And then you have the big brawl down in the south, which generally determines Paris and how the game is going to go. Usually someone in the south wins, and then they're able to flank the guys in the field. Sometimes the field wins and adds a little pressure down into the south. But you can actually defend against that pretty well, provided the numbers are more or less the same in terms of tanks and hit points. What we're going to see right here, though, is we're going to see a huge advantage. We're going to see a huge advantage, and we're going to take a huge advantage of that. Now, my plan right now is, and this is generally a slightly non-standard plan, and it's part and parcel what I want to talk about, because sometimes you do something, you try something a little more aggressive, and you're able to leverage that. Not always. Sometimes you do something more aggressive and you're out of the game. You're back in the garage and you're trying to figure out what your next tank's going to be. But it's a pixel tank game. So in my opinion, there's no reason not to rage out and do a little careful YOLO at some points in your gaming. And on this map, there's a place, I used to go there quite a lot. The bushes used to be a little bit different. They're a little harder to use, especially from the east spawn. The west spawn, it's easier. I may have called myself west spawn earlier. I don't remember. I am indeed in the east spawn. I used to go to this place a lot. And it's up there in the north, and it's in that little ditch, and there's a couple bushes right there. And basically, I'm committed. I've decided because I want to, right? I just want to do this. Now, when I say kind of careful YOLO, I'm not talking about, just going straight across the field and attacking them. Okay, that is 9.9 times out of 10 a fast way back to the garage. But I know this spot, and I know I can defend in here. Maybe get some spots on the guys hanging out in the trees and the bushes. Now I come across here, and the first thing I notice is I didn't get spotted, right? When I first saw the 1357 coming, I'm like, crap, I'm probably going to get spotted. Then he was behind that little I don't know, hill right there where everybody sits, right over here. And I didn't get spotted. I waited my 3 seconds, and now I know I can ambush him. Plus, he's been shredded a few hit points right there, and maybe even a few more would be nice. Doesn't look like I'm going to auto-aim this guy. Oh, there we go. We get one more. Oh, I missed the first shot. And he's going to actually get a few in on me right here. It's a bummer, but we end up killing this guy. We'll hit C. Okay, so what do we know now? Well, they know I'm here. I have a good amount of guys in the field. We're starting to have the heavy brawl down in the south, and there's some dudes hanging out in the middle. So this deployment is not amazing, but it's not bad, especially if we can get some leverage on this. So watch what happens with the Type 62, right up there to the north of me. DeCon Thomas up here. Come on, baby. Watch what he's doing. So I see him moving forward, and he tells me something very important when he gets to that position. Because I know that this position can see into this bush, into this hill, and behind it, there is nobody out here in the field, at least in this position. And that is really good SA. And then he finds the 1375 sitting right there and engages him. He's still not taking a lot of hits. He goes even deeper in, and all we have over here is a GW Panther and a 1375. So the Blitzkrieg is on, the Rompelstomp, at least in the field, is on, and we're going to start gobbling guys up right here. course, the trick is, what if there's 3 or 4 tanks near the 1375 just hanging out? They just didn't happen to get around the corner yet, because we are here pretty quickly, within a minute actually, and some change. But this is an opportunity for me to get in here, and I'm going to get rid of this GW Panther. So I'm just going to take advantage of the situation. So I have SA built on SA. I get to that north spot. I kill their scout. I don't really see anything else. The Type 62 comes in, proves there's nobody on that hill over there. There's really nobody in the back corner here. So on each point of that, I'm grabbing a little more SA, and I'm thinking, all right, we can leverage this. Now I'm starting to see guys. Got an IS. We got a 1375. But you'll also notice that we have the CS-52 moving up, the Super Hellcat, and the Scorpion. So this is, the leverage here is starting to be used. And this is, when you don't have a good deployment, i.e. we did not really have all the good tanks go down to the south. The Black Prince is goofing around in the middle. Our LIS did not go down to the south, one of our better guns in the game. You have to find another way to kind of get around it. If we just hung out in the field going, well, I wonder where everybody is, slowly we would lose in the south, and then we would have a disadvantage. Fortunately, this team sort of figured it out, that we have quite the advantage going on. So we're just going to hit this guy twice. They're already down. We'll hit C, get to a reload. The LIS is in on the 101, but look at all the guys pushing in to help him. So we kind of jump all over that, and all of a sudden we have a 4-to-1 advantage, and we're just going to keep pressing. Right? SA built on SA. The Rompel Stomp is basically on. We don't want to just walk into them, but I can see based on the deployment that we're about to gobble up another 3 tanks right here without the loss of much. And I actually missed this guy, unfortunately. That's a bummer. There he goes. Get a shot on the Scorpion. He's not even looking. I was worried he might turn on me. Shoot him twice, and now we're on a reload. Down he goes. And really at this point, it's pretty much all over. We came in there. We wiped out some of their tanks. The guys in the south held off pretty well. It looks like they didn't really deploy down to the south as much as I thought initially. We killed a couple of their good tanks up here, the Scorpion and the IS. The IS especially was at a disadvantage for them, but we also have the old Skirta T-56 down in the south, and he's just overpowering the 53 TP and the rest of them. The S-51 is in a really strange place. He ends up dying, and now we're just pushing in. So I don't get a particularly huge game. I've got 709 damage. I think I'm going to chuck a few more in on these guys right here, and it's just cleanup on aisle 2. But it's a good example of paying attention to what's going on in the game overall and kind of understanding what it is you can do and what you can get away with, and then taking advantage of the old Rompel as it goes here. We don't quite kill him, unfortunately. Now we're just going to keep pushing in. Now we're up to 969. It's W time. And you'll notice I just get super aggressive going in here. I'm not going to sit here and play peek-a-boom with these guys. Just kind of coming at them, and now I'm reloaded. I want to get beside. I don't even know if I get another shot of damage because guys just start disintegrating in here. I might take a hit, I think. I try to go around the 53, but he dies. Then we come over here. Maybe I do get some on the Lance. Yeah, I do get some damage on the Lance in there. Hit him a couple times, and boom, it's just all over in that fast, right? 3 minutes and 10 seconds. 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Do we want all of our games to go like this? No, but when you start to notice it and you start to build, you can really leverage your advantage. Went into the field, like I said. I saw a couple things happen. Started to get the sense that there's really nobody there. Pushed in, got their artillery out, cleared that back corner in the northwest, so everyone saw me go through there knowing there's no more guys. And then our dudes folded around, and we wiped out their 3 or 4 campers right there as we pushed in. Good on the team for seeing the same thing at about the same time and all kind of pushing together. And it just ends up being an absolute massacre. And primarily because the purple team made a really poor decision in terms of deploying to the north. They really needed to put somebody on that hill. Their 1357 YOLO'd through and died. They didn't put anybody on that hill to kind of stop all that movement out there. And then once we crossed the field, it was all over. And in that case, it's a case of actual flanking actually working. It was fast enough, and it got us down to the south fast enough that we were able to start influencing that south battle pretty quickly. Although, to be honest, we were winning in the south as well by the time we got there. That's why it just became an overall crush on them right there. So a little Blitzkrieg / Rompel Stomp. And I think the big thing I wanted to talk about there was the gathering of the SA. And this was a pretty, I'm going to say it was a pretty obvious example, but I always see tanks lagging behind when this happens. You know, How come you're not seeing it? Why are you not looking at the minimap? You need to start sensing when this is going to happen. Then you can get in there. And I ended up gobbling up 1,200 damage. Turned out to be a fairly decent game for me at the end, just because I kept pushing and pressing and getting in there. All right, man, that's it for the old Blitzkrieg Romple Stomp. That's all I've got for today. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you.